Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic, host of Bachelor Nation News. We have a very busy day today as Aaron Clancy has responded to claims that he had two different sort of side piece girlfriends before going on Bachelor in Paradise. He went back to one of them. He's going to respond to that. Then we have Reality Steve chiming in saying he's going to have the other lady on to share her side. It's getting messy, folks. Follow me on Instagram at DNeals, and also don't forget to join the Patreon at patreon.com/Dave Neal. Now, you guys might not know this, but we're doing 12 days of giving this Christmas season, and we're dedicating our generosity directly to moms in need, single moms. Today's single mom of the day says Merry Christmas and congrats to the happy couple. I'm including the Amazon wish list for the single moms Christmas help you are offering. So yeah, you can go check that out. Link down below. Our single mom has two kids, a boy and a girl. I think young teens are 11 and 7, that age range. So you can go check out the different things they've got there. You know, there are some very affordable gifts on here. So if you can donate any of those gifts, they go directly to our mom in need, and then when it says where to ship to, it'll show her gift registry address right there. You guys can go do that. So that's our mom of the day. So let's go be as generous as possible. Okay, I'm going to get into this story right now. Here's what Aaron Clancy has to say in response to all the allegations made against him. And by the way, I'm going to share Reality Steve's update response to this for subscribers only. So if you're not subscribed yet, double check. It's free on YouTube. Just hit the subscribe button, and that'll give you the response by Reality Steve when it comes up.
Probably the heaviest topic then coming off of the show for you, which was that you were dating somebody else coming on the show.
Sure.
I don't know if you've had a chance to listen to the Genevieve interview that we did, but she spoke that it was actually two people that you were dating. One person decided to not continue the relationship with you. The other person did.
So obviously the one who decided not to continue the relationship is the one who spoke with Reality Steve. As this airs right now, I'm going to share the screen grabs from Reality Steve's page, realitysteve.com.
When you went on the show, and it was kind of a waiting game to see how the show went for you on if that relationship would continue. With that question being asked, I think we have to ask you, were you dating somebody coming onto the show? Were you dating multiple people coming onto the show?
No. So that's the main reason I went on this podcast, is to address that. That's just simply not true at all. Right. So I'll just walk you through the timeline. So essentially, I was dating this last year. First off, I was dating two separate people. Right. And one person in particular, the person that's releasing text messages or saying certain things about me, that relationship ended. That ended almost a year ago, right? Little bit less, but then essentially I started dating someone else. Now the other person, I get where the anger comes in, and I have text messages and all sorts of stuff with this girl, but the other person, the next person, was one of my best friends for 4 years, right? There's a lot of history there. She had another boyfriend, vast majority of our relationship. It became romantic at the end, but we really got along. So there was a certain element of we can move quicker because we had so much history as friends, right? The relationship ended. The very next,
we call that a Victoria.
Next month, I was dating someone else, right? Now, that right there is a little bit close for comfort for anyone. I get it. But there was no crossover there. Now, any sort of, and that girl, the previous girl, that was upset by me moving on so quickly.
Just for clarity's sake.
Yeah.
This might be disrespectful, but I think it's just, so not using names. Can we say girl A,
girl
B,
A.
Okay.
and C?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. So
okay.
Girl A was upset that I moved on so quickly to girl B, right? Girl B was in my life for 4+ years. Great friend of mine.
So technically girl B should be girl A if she was in the life first, but we won't get into semantics here.
Right. I had a boyfriend, most of the relationship, but we were great friends. Now, girl A was upset by that, me moving on so quickly, right? But she lashed out at me over it, right? And this is a little piece of anecdotal evidence to what type of person this is, because I never wanted to speak ill on anyone, but I saw her at a bar, and her and her friends, she started a rumor that I was gay because I left with James, and they all screamed homophobic slurs at me in the bar, right?
Whoa.
To bully me, essentially, right? So I've moved, whatever, move on, whatever. Now this girl.
I mean, look, this just got interesting. Okay, now we're getting into the character. Aaron Clancy has every right to respond. And of course, we're going to analyze this. Reality Steve's going to cross-examine girl A because these text messages definitely don't lie. But I personally have not seen the exact perfect timeline here to see if there was any overlap, and if there was it emotional or physical, all that jazz. It's going to be very interesting. But he says, just to show her side of things, that she said homophobic slurs, hate speech, essentially, at him because he left with his male friend. Interesting.
That girl B, right? We're seeing each other, but we're great friends, but we're not really like that compatible relationship wise, especially at that time. So we have a couple blowout fights. We don't talk for months, right? Now, girl A thinks we're just in a happy relationship the whole time because she's not involved in my life whatsoever, or at least she that's what she says. So essentially, all those texts you see are her reaching out, girl A to girl B, and saying that I was like seeing both of them simultaneously. Right?
Okay, so we probably have enough information here, and I know we're going to get to work, not necessarily in this video, but in the next day or two, comparing the different notes. But there is enough here, text messages and timestamps, to sort of paint the story from girl A's point of view. But you have to give space for Aaron to defend himself here and say, look, if there wasn't any overlap and she's just really upset and lashing out, then it's a horrible person. Now, if there is overlap and she still lashed out, well, then she got, she's scorned because she was either played or cheated on. But also, it's a pretty ugly response if she yelled that, of course, to Aaron Clancy. It almost sounds like there's no winners here if they're all telling the truth.
Right. Now, that is something that played on girl B's insecurities at the time, like, etc. They riled each other up in a conversation. You're seeing little bits of that in the screenshots. And then when I essentially talk to girl B again, I give her my phone. I'm like, hey, look at the receipts, right? Look at all the text, look at whatever. She sees that girl A is like, I'm not over you. I want to see you, blah, blah, blah. And sees that it was all kind of bullshit. Then the situation was resolved, right? And it was resolved.
So here's what we have. Apparently, Aaron Clancy's still with girl B, or at least has been with girl B since this got exposed. So to give girl B credit here, girl B looked through all of the receipts after initially getting very upset. Wow, what a POS. Wow, what an a-hole. Oh my gosh, after getting all riled up, looks at what Aaron Clancy has for his receipts and then is still with him. So unless we hear her side, there's still a big a gap here of we have one lady antebellum, lady A here, girl A, but we don't have girl B to kind of paint in the rest of the picture.
Months ago, and that was good enough for her. It should be good enough for everyone else, because at the end of the day, there was no crossover.
So he said, good enough for girl B, good enough for everybody else.
I was not dating multiple people. I was not in a committed relationship with either one of them at any point. And realistically, going into paradise with a girlfriend, that is something that is I want to say a rookie mistake because of the people that do it. But this is my second time on the beach, and the producers are my friends. I told going into paradise, they call you, they're asking you who you've been dating. Are you single? Whatever. I listed out these people's names. They know exactly who these people are. I'm best friends with producers as well. They were aware of my dating history.
I don't hate the defense. He goes, look, this isn't my first rodeo. You think I would have just made such a stupid mistake to be dating two different women before going on the show? But you could also look at it and say, oh, it's his second time on the show. Maybe he's a little more laid back with it all. But I do think it's important for when we look at these things. And of course, we're going to hear tomorrow on, hit the subscribe button for all subscribers. We're going to get this access tomorrow. What my reaction to Reality Steve interviewing girl A. Okay. So, but I think it's fair, if we're going to just go off of everything girl A says, great. And read all that, great. But it's fair to listen to Aaron Clancy, even if you feel like he's lying out of his teeth.
And they know exactly who these people are in the timeline. So that's why it's it's just not even realistic. And it's upsetting. So this person, girl A, who called me homophobic slurs in the bar, took to reality Steve and essentially.
By the way, this might sound crazy for people to hear. The number one way that I too have been shamed by women is from homophobic slurs. Now, of course, you're at the bar, you're drinking. I have no idea what's going through people's mind, but that is the quickest, I think, way so I'm not surprised. Now, it's a horrible thing, a horrible thing. Someone's sexuality should not be used against them to say that he's weak or he's lesser than, or, oh, you're this or you're that. No, that shouldn't be the case whatsoever. Like, it shouldn't be a slur but it also, we shouldn't be projecting what someone's sexuality might be, so very ugly situation.
Essentially, gave him like some sort of fake story to bully me online. Like the credibility of this person is ridiculous, and it's so vicious. It actually makes me sick to my stomach, because like the one thing I do is I don't lie to people. I don't play people. When I was younger, late teens, very early 20s, like there was a situation where I wasn't super honest in a relationship, and I ended up hurting people I truly loved. And so I will never do that again. And this situation itself is just fabricated completely.
All right. Well, tomorrow we're going to hear her side, girl A, and who knows, maybe if it gets to it, girl B will speak out. But either way, the most telling part, as Aaron mentioned, on his side, is that he said girl B read all the information, and at that point, she's stuck by me. Now, we could find more information out, and I'm going to do my best to just kind of take a back seat and just let everyone tell their story, and we're going to listen. Let me know what you guys think. It's a fascinating story at the very least. I've got a new Christmas vlog video up on my on Tasha's channel, on our vlog channel, so just click that right there. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get the conclusion of this story as we talk about it. And I've got a video coming out right after this on the Dave Neal Show, Brittany Griner being released from a Russian prison. So we'll get into that on the Dave Neal Show right after this.